Hi, George Durkee, Geography 63, creating a basic map for Columbia College. And this will be an introduction to the work and lessons we'll be doing in weeks 2 and 3. So this is when we start actually using ArcGIS Pro to create a map. And what we'll do is you'll be assigned two online lessons from ESRI, who makes the software for ArcGIS Pro. And then the rest of the videos will be a step-by-step on how to actually build a map. So we'll cover signing in to your Columbia College ArcGIS online account, and you should have received a login so you can create a password. If you have not, get a hold of me and I'll get one out to you. For those of you taking other GIS classes, you've already got a sign in and you don't need to do anything. You're set. And we'll then look at accessing and starting ESRI's training webpage. I'll also go over some of the other courses available, especially their MOOCs, their massive open online classes. They've got some really good free training, and I'll show you a couple of the courses that are available that are really good. So what these lessons will cover will be getting familiar with the ArcGIS Pro interface and tools. We'll set up a map, create and find geospatial resources, which is the data that you'll load it with, symbology, labeling, some basic editing. Then we'll create a layout, which is different from your data view. This is what you'll print, then save the map as a PDF. And then I'll go over the elements that I expect in your final map. And I'll just mention a few words about week 4 and the final map project. Ideally, it's whatever you want to do. If you've got some sort of map, some sort of geospatial data you want to present, that's great. I'm open to almost anything. If you're working in another class and you've got a project going, uh, get a hold of me. That's probably fine to continue it and show me what you're working on. In any map you do for week 4, I want to see some of the lessons that we're learning here. That is, symbology and labeling and things like that. For those of you who can't come up with some clever project, no problem. What I'll probably do, and I haven't put the data yet together, is I will come up with some data that you can build into a map. And again, using these same elements we cover in weeks 2 and 3. And I'll also add a couple of extra, more advanced mapping techniques you can use on them. So to start the first couple of courses, you sign in to your Columbia College GIS account. So just fill in your name and your password. And if you haven't already created a password, go ahead and do that. And then just sign in. And that'll bring you to the college account. It'll take you first to your contents tab, but that's no problem. And for those of you who haven't taken any of the GIS classes before, we won't be using the ArcGIS Online account except to access your training programs. But for future courses, or if you just want to fool around on your own, this is where you can create online maps, and you can add data and do pretty much anything you can do in ArcGIS Pro, but you can do it all online, and that then allows you to share it with others, either within the Columbia GIS program or the public. But again, we won't be using this at all, but but it is available to you now that you have a Arc Online account. And you'll also have a file where you can keep your content for your online content called My Content. And you keep folders of various projects and so on there. And as another side note, ArcGIS Pro integrates fairly well with ArcGIS Online. That is, you can create a map in Arc Pro and upload it directly to Arc Online and share it. So you can design your map, get it how you want it to look, and then upload it for the public or your business or whatever else. It's a good way to share maps that way. Okay, so to access the first two classes, you go up to your name here, to your account, and then you drop down to training, and that'll bring you to your Arc Online dashboard for anything you do as far as coursework or anything goes. And so you'll have My Academy, which is split up into schedule and learning activity and learning plans. Uh, and then also we can go to the catalog, which is what we'll do here. We'll go to the course catalog, and then you'll search for the two classes I'd like you guys to take. The first is JS Basics. You type that into the search bar and hit enter. And then it doesn't have a great search. It's not exact, but in any event, here's JS Basics. So you tap that, and then I've already gone through the course. So you just start the course. It estimates about 2 hours, 35 minutes, and there's a couple of quizzes, step-by-step stuff. And for those of you already taking GIS, this is a repeat uh, of probably a lot of the stuff that you know, and so you can get through it pretty quickly. You could just zoom on to the quizzes and get through it. And as I tell you in the assignment, I'd like you guys to uh, send me a copy of your certificate of completion. And for those of you who don't have any JS background or experience, this is a pretty good introduction to all things GIS. It explains the capabilities of the ArcGIS universe and what you can do with it. And so for the next, let's go back to the course catalog. And here you'll look up ArcGIS Pro Basics. And that'll be the second class. There we go. And it's the same thing. This one is only about an hour, but the important thing about this class is that you will download a data set for the Northridge earthquake and put it on your machine's C drive, and that's what we'll be using for the next 5 videos of my videos of a step-by-step to create a map. And again, it's got a certificate suitable for framing if you want, and you can get that by going to My Academy and My Learning Activity, and you'll have completed these two courses, Basics and Pro Basics, and then just View Certificate. And you can either print it, download it, or a screenshot's fine with me. You can just do that. Now let's go back once again to the catalog. I just want to show you some other classes you might find interesting in your GIS life. So you can go to Format and go down to MOOCs, online classes, and there's 6 of them. The one I especially recommend is cartography. This is really outstanding. You get a lot of good experience with symbology and labeling and just data in general. Uh, Most of these classes, they're about 6 weeks. They're self-paced. They've got videos and so on and so forth, and exercises, and they're free. So they're really, really useful. And in some years, cartography overlaps with either this class, 63, or my emergency incident mapping class. And I've been pretty open to folks taking the cartography class, for instance, and I give them credit for this class. But unfortunately, they don't overlap this year, so we won't be able to do that. But anyway, again, highly recommended. The imagery class is good. Spatial analysis is also excellent. And of course, it's also the Learning Academy, the catalog is another great place to find more advanced classes on editing with Pro or tips and tricks. Pretty much anything is here. Some of the classes are free to anyone. In the case of the two classes I've assigned, you need what's called a maintenance agreement, which is what our college has with ESRI. So if you're not using your ESRI account, you wouldn't be able to access those classes. Now let's go over a couple of the last assigned videos in your series of creating a map. And I'm going to mention specifically the elements that I want to see in a final map from you, uh, and what I hope isn't too confusing uh, in videos 4 and 5. Video 4 is going to be the layout and printing, and that's essentially the last step for sending me a PDF of the map you've created. But when I did video 4, I thought of some more fun stuff that would be useful for you guys, especially in editing uh, in Arc Pro. And so I created a fifth video. And so what I tell you here in the instructions is right around the 32-minute mark or so of video 4. Stop there and switch to video 5 and get those tips and tricks. And then incorporate them into your final map. If you're really pressed for time or you're flailing, don't worry about it. What I show in video 4 is fine for the elements that I want to see, and you can just go do that. But if you're gung-ho and everything is making sense, then go ahead and incorporate some of those techniques into video from video 5 into your map. So what I do want to see is at least 2 of the 3 feature classes that you've created. You'll see what I mean in video, uh, second video of the series. And I want you to have labeled all the featured classes, create a logical color for all of your symbology. That is, it shows on the map. It doesn't contrast or it does contrast with the others. So, you don't have a whole bunch of red lines, for instance, for fault lines and for highways. Uh, so you can distinguish one from the other. And uh, each of them will have a unique value. So for the faults, they each give an age, and you can create a unique color symbol for those. And I show you how to do that on the on the video, so don't worry about it now. And then also in the last video, I repeat this. I go over what I want folks to do. So you want a north arrow, a scale bar, a legend that tells what the symbology is, and then a background so that the viewer can see all of those elements against the base map. And there's a bunch of different variables you can try to see what works best. And I encourage you to uh, basically fool around with symbology. A lot of this is to develop a sense of aesthetics, and that's what I went over in week 1, and maybe there was a little too much of that there because when you're just starting, you don't yet have that sense of what Pro can do, and and an idea of what colors and symbology work best. But you develop that over time, and I just wanted you guys in that first week to start thinking about that when designing them. What I've said before is that you're trying to represent geospatial data on a map, and you're trying to tell a story. You're trying to bring attention to that data to bring out a particular feature or important point that you're trying to make. And so again, it just takes time and experience. And then finally, I want you to print and export the map to PDF and send me via email or through the Canvas system the PDF. And finally, I've got a number of people who watch my videos who are not students. So I'll also mention that in the description for this video, I'll have uploaded the Northridge data so that you can access it too. Um, because people who aren't students, who don't have their ARC Online maintenance contract through the school, won't be able to access the basic GIS classes where you get the data. Okay, hope that all makes sense. As always, get a hold of me, send me an email if you have questions or problems. Thanks.